Why don't you show your face? Why are you such a coward? This man is saying this is Canada. He's waving a Palestinian flag. He's wearing a mask. It's not Halloween. It sure doesn't look like Canada to me.
Not Israel. This is not a terrorist country.
Okay, then why do you support a terrorist group?
This is Canada.
Okay. And your point is?
Israel is a terrorist.
Okay, I can barely hear him, guys. He's talking through a plastic mask.
If you believe in something, be proud of it. Stand tall. Be a person. Show your face. Show your voice. Why are you hiding behind masks? It just doesn't make any... The war is over in Gaza, yet in the streets of Toronto, people are still protesting behind the mask. Show us your face. Let us see who you are, if this is truly what you believe in. Let's just watch this.
David Menzies for Rebel News here at the North Toronto intersection of Bathurst and Shepherd. And you know, for more than 2 years here, folks, as you know, there has been dueling demonstrators. There have been the pro-Hamas people on the east side and the pro-Israel side on the west side. And that went away a few weeks ago when finally the war in Gaza was ended, when the hostages were returned. But the pro-Hamas people, they kept returning. And last Sunday, they reached a new odious benchmark. What they did is they broke away into residential streets and started harassing people that were Jewish or people who they thought were Jewish. It was unbelievable. Here, check out this footage that our friends Karima says and Lee shot a week ago today.
Israel has been warned by its own Israeli citizens that the brain drain is well on its way in Israel.
I mean, it's just unbelievable. Can you imagine if, say, a handful of Proud Boys went into a predominantly Muslim neighborhood in Toronto and they started chanting for genocide? They started chanting people just trying to live their lives. Would Toronto police tolerate that for 1 minute? Would the politicians from Mayor Chow on down accept that? I think we all know the answer, don't we, folks?
The genocide in Gaza impact us all. Our common law, our shared humanity.
But get this, in the aftermath of that shameful day, the pro-Hamas people issued the following statement, and it's truly incredible. I'll quote verbatim, quote, "We won't be intimidated. JDL thugs need to be arrested. No more attacks. JDL members and supporters must be investigated and held accountable," end quote. It's staggering. The Hamasals go out and cause the trouble and then, in a de rigueur fashion, claim victimhood. So we have returned here. Now the pro-Israel people, a smattering of them, have shown up as they have for the past 2 years. And basically, we know the script. We know the chants they make. It's downright boring. But we want to see if they will go back into the side streets and chant their vile rhetoric. So stay tuned.
Are they going to be kept off of the side that we're on so they're not
Yes.
in?
Look there.
Oh,
Look
wait.
Yes, now that I realize that these people are counter-protesting,
Thank
There's
you.
not one cop on
All right.
them. There's not one cop on them.
can you let
Yeah.
me deal with this here, and I'm going to go deal
Yeah.
with that?
You have officers
Okay,
there right
can we
now.
all walk together? Let's go.
Yeah, as
You
long
can't be
as
on this
we're
side,
giving,
period.
as long as we're
I've
being
already
given
explained.
fair treatment here, like they're kept
We
away
need to
from our
communicate. Now, I
side.
want to communicate,
Boom.
and then I'm all about that.
Okay.
Are you from
Why is everybody in disguise, sir?
Are you from Garbage News?
I can't hear you behind your mask. See, when you were speaking, this is what it sounds like. You know, like Charlie Brown's teacher. Why don't you show your face? Why are you such a coward? Hey, folks, as you can see, we brought our beautiful Jumbotron-equipped truck with us. It is flagging the message, nohate.ca. If you're sick and tired of this ongoing hate fest that we see all over the streets of our great dominion, please go to nohate.ca, sign the petition, and if you're able to, kindly make a donation so that we can recover our costs. Thank you.
Zionism is nothing but a culture of pedophiles, rapists, baby killers, and thieves.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's very hard. What are you? I'm not in any group. I'm practicing journalism.
You know, we've already dealt with this.
What do you mean we've already dealt with this?
This is, they don't want you over there now.
That's their problem, sir.
This is a designated protest zone, okay?
No, Canada is my designated journalism zone.
Listen, you cannot enter there and...
What do you mean? Sir, this is a public sidewalk.
You can stand right over here.
So, folks, what do we see here yet again? Well, not a single Canadian flag. So many of the demonstrators are wearing masks. Why would that be? Halloween was more than 2 weeks ago. They'll be chanting genocide any moment now. And also, the police seem to think that a public sidewalk in Canada is a designated protest zone. Why? How did that ever happen? So it's very much deja vu, given what we've seen at this intersection for the last 2 years. The big question is, like last Sunday, are they going to go into predominantly Jewish neighborhoods and chant their filthy, hateful... It is?
Yeah, it's Canada.
You know, it doesn't look like Canada to me, sir.
No, this is not Israel.
I'm talking, this man is saying this is Canada. He's waving a Palestinian flag. He's wearing a mask. It's not Halloween. It sure doesn't look like Canada to me.
Not Israel. This is not a terrorist country.
Okay, then why do you support a terrorist group?
This is Canada.
Okay. And your point is?
Israel is a terrorist.
Okay, I can barely hear him, guys. He's talking through a plastic mask. It's like the Charlie Brown teacher, you know, wah, 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 wah. So the thing is, I wonder if they will push the envelope like they did last Sunday. They went into residential side streets and just targeted Jewish people or people they thought were Jewish and spewed their vile hatred. These were people that have no skin in the game. And I wonder if these wonderful members of law enforcement, say a group of Proud Boys went into a predominantly Muslim neighborhood and they were chanting anti-Muslim rhetoric, would that be tolerated for even 1 minute? Would it? I mean, it's a hypothetical question because we don't see that, do we? It's only these people going into Jewish neighborhoods. So we'll just have to find out. Say, officers, why did you allow these pro-Hamas people to go into Jewish neighborhoods?
You mean pro-Palestine, anti-genocide
How about yourself, sir? By the way, I know your name is Hussein. Do you support those officers that said that the good thing about October 7th, 2023 is that it brought more people back to Islam?
Media, a lot of people after October 7th started learning about Islam.
They did, yeah.
And they said, okay, what is it with the religion that why is it so hated? Yeah. You know what I mean? Why are they being attacked all the time? So people say, you know what, let me learn about Islam. And there have been a lot of reverts.
Well, as they say in Alabama, these dogs don't hunt. I'll try number 3. Hi, Officer Kerr. Can you tell me why that was allowed last week, people going into Jewish neighborhoods and harassing people? Can you? It's amazing. It's like, remember Sergeant Schultz? I know nothing. I saw nothing. I wonder what this woman looks like. You are a woman, aren't you? I didn't misgender you. Eh?
No.
You're not a woman.
Okay. Free Palestine.
Okay. She, he, it is claiming not to be a woman. Looks kind of female, but you really can't tell, can you? No. Well, folks, I'm with Rick with True North Transparency. He is an independent journalist as well. And much like we, he was threatened with trespassing for practicing journalism on a public sidewalk. What's going on, Rick?
I was threatened with breach of the peace, actually.
Breach of the
We were
peace?
standing on the sidewalk, having a conversation with a lady, and the cop came up and started shoving me and told me I would be absolutely arrested if I didn't leave for breach of the peace.
But what's the reason for that?
they didn't give me one. They just said, you're going to be arrested for breach of the peace. It's their go-to charge, as you know.
You know, what I find fascinating is that did any of the Hamasholes ask the police to have you arrested, or were the police acting on their own volition?
No, they came, some of the guys holding the flags came over and they pointed at me and said, we want him gone. And the cop grabbed me and started shoving me.
You know, Rick, it seems to me after the last 2 years that the Toronto police, starting with Chief Demke, they're taking their marching orders from Hamas, aren't they? I mean, to the point that they will do their bidding, and on cold days like today, we'll see what happens in the later hours, even deliver them coffee and Timbits.
I saw that on the Avenue Road Bridge last winter.
That's what I heard about. Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
And what they're doing here is they're taking orders from them saying, we don't want this fella here. And meanwhile, like 10 minutes earlier, the public service response team said, this is a public sidewalk. He has every right to be here. He's not a protester. And then a police officer, not one of the public service response team guys, came up and he's like, no, you got to go.
Wow.
So they're conflicting each other's
I don't know if
orders.
it's been a policy. I'm not sure if this is a policy of the chief of police, to say that, to do this, like, to be in their favor. I don't know. It's very hard to say. But in reality, is you see those things, serving coffee and being protecting them. It's an issue. It's an issue. And you see the mayor, what she's doing, honoring the Hamas and the Palestinian flag. And it's ridiculous what's going on with this.
I agree, sir.
I never thought it's going to be happening here in Toronto with the blessing of the mayor of Toronto agreeing to all this.
The genocide in Gaza impact us all. Our common bond, our shared humanity.
Folks, I got to tell you, I'm not going to press my luck, even though we have every right to walk on a Canadian sidewalk and practice journalism. That's not how law enforcement rolls. We still back the blue. I don't think it's the individual police officers that are to blame here. It's the brass. They are pro-Hamas. So is the mayor. And do you remember what happened to me last November when I was trying to practice journalism? Well, it didn't go all that well for me, did it? Check it out. Folks, this is Sharia law like you're seeing on the eve of Remembrance Day. These officers are disobeying their oath. They are assaulting me. They are bending the knee to the Islamo-Nazis.
You look like the butt of a dog.
When it comes to the corner of Bathurst and Shepherd, I'm struggling with what the rules are, because we were told that the east sidewalk, well, that's for the Hamasholes, and for the pro-Israel set, it's the west side. But as you can see, about a dozen, I'd say, pro-Hamas demonstrators have come over here. And, shockers, it's being entertained by the police. So, I'm just wondering, folks, what indeed are the rules? I don't think Canada in its constitution has anything about designated protest zones. I think every square inch of what you see here on these public sidewalks and public roads, it's for the people. It is for the media to cover. But A, the police are not abiding by that. And B, when it comes to wiggle room, it's only for one side. As you can see, they have clearly crossed the street and they're on the west side. So again, please, what are the rules? Now we're seeing a bit of the censorious behavior of the Toronto police. Remember a year ago, I think it was, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, when he was still Prime Minister, had a secret meeting with the police chief, Demke. Well, why? The police chief of Toronto does not take his marching orders from the Prime Minister. What was said in that meeting? They won't tell us. We filed an FOI. They denied it. So what were they so ashamed of? What were they being so non-transparent about? And we wanted to see what one of the ringleaders was saying to that police officer. And, the thin blue line won't let us cross. Unbelievable. What are the rules exactly? Because I thought, each group had a.
I feel like you should ask one of the officers of the law because you guys should do a better job following their instructions. You fail at it miserably, consistently.
Following
Why do
your
you guys
instructions?
No, the officers of the law who you should be respecting.
Why are you coming to the
so
west
bad
side?
at it. You guys keep getting arrested time and time again.
Well,
by
please
the way,
educate me.
how's Natasha since she got pummeled and taken to the ground? That was a fun one to watch. I saved it in my phone so I can rewatch it whenever I want. Because when I was at the March on Parliament, she came up to me, put hands on me, and then whispered the line, "We're all Leviathan."
Oh, really?
Yeah,
do you have,
and then
do you
a
have
day later,
evidence
I
of
watched her
that?
get tackled to the ground by police. How's she doing?
And you're happy about
she
that?
She got injured. Is her hip okay? When you're older, it can be hard to keep your bones intact.
You know, isn't this amazing, folks? A woman supporting misogyny. She is actually happy that Natasha got hurt.
Feminism. It's just I only address real women with class. Natasha doesn't make the cut.
It's unbelievable. The hatred. It's all over the line. Anyways. Okay.
As far as I understand, with the police liaison and the boss here, they made an arrangement with them to come back to this spot.
Oh, I see.
They've
Okay.
agreed that they're going to stay in this spot.
Oh, okay.
Because, yeah, that was
So
obviously...
they weren't supposed to go over there.
Well, that was a bit of a curveball, obviously, that goes against everything that they've been doing for the past however long they've been here.
Okay.
So they made an arrangement with the boss and the liaison that they're going to come back here and stay here.
Okay.
And then we're kind of reverting back to the way it's been for the past little while. And from what I understand, this is, they don't want people congregating in this area because, as my partner already said, there's cars coming here, right?
Okay.
So they don't want anybody tripping. And also, as soon as somebody comes in here, you see what happens.
I really appreciate that, officer. That's all we wanted to
It
know.
fires them up, and that's all we're trying to do, is trying to avoid any sort of confrontations, and that's all, right? So we're going to stay here and make sure that there's, that, you know, try to keep any confrontations from occurring here. I believe officers are going to be on that side, and they've agreed to hang out in here.
And if I can tell you our agenda, based on what happened last week when they went into residential neighborhoods and harassed people, we just want to see if they're going to do that again today.
That's great. No, thanks for letting us know that. And we heard a resident did tell me that happened.
Yes.
Our team wasn't here. You kind of know that we alternate teams, kind of alternate weeks, right? So,
I don't know anything.
Well, so because we don't work every day of the week, so typically it's a week. Every week you'll get different teams, right? So we're back here. We missed that whole whatever fiasco last week, so we're kind of getting all the knowledge and understanding of what happened as well. So
no, I take you at your word, and I thank you for your time.
It is truly mystifying, and we're trying to understand this. Okay, the war is over. There is a ceasefire in Gaza. Why are there still protests? Not only why are there still protests, what's with the disguise? What's with the mask? Hiding behind a mask. Who are you? Are you a person that has principles? Are you a person that has some level of intellect that you are so passionate about that you feel like you must go out into the streets and protest? Then let us see your face. Let us see who you are. Why are you shy? Why are you hiding behind a mask? Unless you don't even know what you're protesting and you don't even believe what you're protesting. Well, we have seen it since October 7, 2023, in the United States of America and throughout the world, a huge mystery. We've seen on the college campuses. We have seen on the streets of the big cities, metropolis cities, people coming out protesting free Palestine from the river to the sea, the mantra, in disguise, covering their faces with masks. And you oftenly wonder, why do you hide yourself? If you have principles, and you believe so strong of those principles, show us who you are. Be a proud person. So we're trying to figure out, and many are trying to analyze, what's this all about? And very interesting, I've seen recently a report of suggesting that we have over 300 million Americans. You're going to have 10%, let's say 300,000, that are susceptible of just being sheep, just being hired to be puppets, to be extras. And there has been a lot of money poured into these protests. Someone was suggesting, I'm not sure how substantiated it is, that when Kamala Harris was running her campaign, that the stadiums were filled with extras. These are people who were bought, who were paid to fill up the stadium. And they followed them. It was the same people who went from stadium to fill them up. So yeah, so there is going to be a certain percent of people who really are not, don't have the integrity or the honesty or the principles to be proud of who they are and what they are truly representing. We have seen the interviews during the last 2 years on the college campuses when they would ask students, what are you protesting? I don't know. I was just told to be here. Holding signs. They don't know what it means. They just pick up the sign. It's pure ignorance. And in this case, ignorance is not bliss. It's also hatred. So the question is, now that the war is over in Gaza, hopefully, what are they protesting? Why are they protesting? What's there to protest? We have seen and learned that the challenges of this war in Gaza is a very different challenge than what we have seen in other types of warfare. Let's just take the war with the Russian and the Ukrainians. As soon as the war occurred, there were hundreds, if not millions, of Ukrainians who got up and left the Ukraine, and they went to other countries, and other countries absorbed them and gave them haven, and either they'll just immigrate and stay there forever and start life again, or they'll go back, but at least they had that option. In Gaza, you have 2 million Gazans who were not allowed to leave. They were basically held, I hate to use the word hostage, but they were held in captive by Hamas. 2 million Palestinians. If they were truly in harm's way and in danger, why didn't Egypt open its borders and welcome them in? Why didn't all the other 150 Arab countries invite them in? Why were they restricted to leave Gaza? They should have had an opportunity to just leave and get out of harm's way. Let Israel do its job. Let's get rid of Hamas and then come back. But they did not. And the reason is because Hamas did not allow them. They held them hostage as their own pawns, as their own human shields. To Hamas, Palestinians were disposable. And that's what the world was siding with. They were siding with Hamas, who are forcing the Palestinians to be the human shields and blaming Israel for it. So these protests on the street of Toronto is just nonsensical. There's no point about it, but you're going to have a certain percent of humanity that's just like that. And, you know, I was hoping that at some point the United States of America will come out with a law that prohibits wearing a mask during a protest. Unless you have some health reasons, you got to wear a mask, understood. But to hide your face during a protest, that should be illegal. You're protesting, be proud of who you are, be proud of your face. Let the world see what your principles are, if you are a person of principles. Unless you're just a lowlife there to hate and you have no principles that you represent, which is quite obvious. So I hope that this video gave you some insight to what's going on in the streets of Toronto post-war. And you can only imagine the amount of hate that's out there. And we call it baseless hate, because there's absolutely no foundation for this hate. Israel is the only democracy in the Middle East. Israel is the only country in the Middle East that coexists with all religions. You come to Jerusalem, you'll find the Armenian quarter, you'll find the Christian quarter, you'll find the Muslim quarter, you'll find the Jewish quarter. We all coexist together. It's the only place in the Middle East that all religions can coexist together. In Israel, we have 2 million Arabs living as citizens in Israel. And yet they call Israel apartheid. There's no other country that has embraced the Arabs as Israel has. And if you ask any Arab that's been living in Israel, where do they prefer to live, they would choose Israel because of the democracy, the freedoms and liberals that they enjoy like every Israeli citizens. So I hope that this clip gives you some insight to humanity, and we have a lot of work to do to try to educate people and to bring people closer to peace-loving people than hateful people. God bless you. God loves you.